Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this video we are going to talk about functions in Python. It is one of the most important functionality in Python that every programmer uses, with saves their time, effort, and gives them a lot of, what I can say, a lot of speed execution, and some optimized code. So we will see what functions in Python is all about. Before that, let's take a simple example, right? Let's say you're working at a billing shop, right? Where folks come to buy fruits, items, etc., etc., right? So let's talk about it in a most easy way, right? So let's say we have a price of 1200. Price 1 I'm talking about. Let's take two variables, right? Then we have price 2, 800. Now the logic is pretty simple, right? Total is equal to price 1 plus price 2, right? And then GST is equal to, GST is nothing but it's a tax, total into 0.18, that's 18%, right? Now the final amount will become total plus GST, right? And then we print the final amount, right? So this is the logic for you working at a, let's say, a superstore, right? A supermart, etc., right? Now let's say you have another customer, right, that comes in. So you repeat the same step of code. You change the pricing for first item, second item, third item, whatever it is, right? And you repeat the same thing. Let's say you have 100 customers in a day. For 100 customer, the code becomes very long and messy, right? So what is the easiest way to do this? So in Python we have something called as functions. So how functions work is, you declare the functions using the keyword def, then the function name, right? Then what are the parameters you are going to pass, right? 1, 2, etc., right? End with a colon. Here will be some work, whatever we are doing, and then you return that value, right? You return the value, right? And this is how the function declaration works, right? Now let's talk about our example, what we took earlier in above, how we can optimize this code using function, right? So let's say I take a function, I name it calculate bill. One second, let me def calculate underscore bill. Now this is the function, right? What I'm doing now, I'm passing two values, right? Price 1 comma price 2, right? Now I write total is equal to, so the logic is same, so this, right? I'm writing everything from there to here, right? So what I'm doing is indentation, right? Now Now I am okay. So this is how we have declared the function, right? Now how do we access this function? Right now if I run this code, right, you run it, but it does not give us anything, right, output. How we are going to call this particular function, and how do we pass the values? We need to pass price1 price2 somewhere, right? How do I know what is the value from where it is coming? So the easiest way to call a function in Python is function name and the respective arguments, right? This is how we call the function. So in this particular example, and calculate bill, I'm going to pass two values, 1200 and 800, right? Now I run this code. So 2360, right? I pass. Now you get a second customer, right? Let's say he has 500 of value for first item, 300 value for second item, right? And then we execute it. So now we are getting value of both the customers, right? So now this small function, what you see here, right? It is acting like a small billing machine. It knows what to do whenever we call it, right? So when we write calculate bill 1200, 800, Python puts 1200 into price1 variable, 800 into price2 variable. Then it runs all the billing steps and prints the final amount. Similarly, if another customer comes, which is the second one here, we don't have to rewrite the code, right? We just call the function again with the new values. That's what we did here, right? We call this function, we are passing the arguments here with the new values. So what is this doing? This is saving time. It reduces the repetition of our code, and it keeps our program clean. Like, it's easy to understand, executes faster, lines of codes are minimal. So the thumb rule here is also one very important factor to note is the function name. It should always create function name which is going to add values to what block of code you're writing for what functionality. It becomes easy to connect those dots to that particular functionality of program. And also you need to remember it follows the same way as we create variables. So that is one important thing you have to remember, right? So this is all about functions. What is functions and how do we define it, how do we call a function, right? So I will see you in the next one. If you have any questions, let me know.